Jeremy, are you?
Well, that's
answered that?
new. I've never heard that before, but I guess you now know it's being recorded.
That is new. The last couple of weeks I've heard that.
All right.
Okay. Okay. First item on the agenda is selection of committee chair and co-chair. We had this before, and this is a standing committee, and the mayor appoints the chair, but we should appoint a co-chair or acting chair. Would that be appropriate, Matt?
I thought the committee had always selected.
No, I did actually. I was wondering the same thing, and I found it under chapter 1, page 4.
Right, yeah, I mean, so the rules may be different than certainly our other committees, but as a matter of practice. Well, has the mayor actually selected the chair?
Yes.
Oh, he did, okay.
Are you chair again, Kathy?
Hold on.
Yes.
Okay. I hear the thrill.
But it listed the 4 committees, L&O being one of them,
Right,
shall designate the chair for all standing committees.
yeah, that is correct.
But I would nominate Katie for co-chair.
Sure, I'll second it.
Discussion? Katie,
Thank you. Thank
you
you,
good with that?
question mark.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, next is comments from citizens present. Do we have any citizens that would like to address the committee on items that are on our agenda? Does anyone want to address the committee? Hearing none, we'll move to the approval of the minutes of May 11th, 2021.
Move approval.
Second.
Discussion? I thought they looked great. All in favor of approving the minutes as submitted, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. I didn't hear Dan, but Dan?
I did. I heard him.
Oh, you did. Okay, okay. That was unanimous. The minutes are approved. Licenses and permits. Review of a request to amend the hour for an outdoor amplified sound permit by Jennifer Cradwell for Kiva Sports Center 8312 for Cynthia Street, Middleton, Wisconsin for band and sound system 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. July 17th and August 21st, 2021 for the 2021 summer concert series. So this is just moving it from 5 p.m. to 4 p.m., extending it 1 hour?
Correct.
That's correct.
Okay.
I imagine that's for sound check.
Yeah, well, and just we've got 2 or 3 opening bands. And so just to allow some time, depending on what equipment, this is new to me, but what equipment each band has and how much time they need between, we're just gonna allow for
Right.
some extra.
Little buffer,
Yeah.
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 Lots of logistics to consider. Well, I will move approval on this amendment.
I'll second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you so
Oh.
much.
You're welcome. Are we going to do, let's see, 2 and 3 together for the Good Neighbor Fest? We have the special event permit and outdoor amplified sound permit. Number 2, application for special event permit by Middleton Good Neighbor Festival, Admiral Warner, contact person for the 2021 Good Neighbor Festival for August 27th through the 29th, 2021 at Fireman's Park, and an application for outdoor amplified sound permit by Adam Warner for Middleton Good Neighbor Fest, P.O. Box 620211, Middleton, Wisconsin, for band, sound system, and announcements, 11 a.m. to 12 a.m., August 27th through the 29th, 2021, for the 2021 Good Neighbor Festival. Adam, do you want to,
Yeah. I'm sorry, what was that?
did you want to speak to this, or?
Sure. We obviously have undergone some changes into the format, which we've discussed with you at a previous meeting. And since that meeting, the grounds have changed, and I've talked with with Jeremy today about adding a layer in of our safety plan.
Right.
So, just to run you through it real quick, our original intent was to have the whole grounds be open as an open campus. But the Chief Hellenbrand had mentioned that he would prefer to have a cordoned off area or, some restriction to underage people being on the grounds after a certain time, which he had mentioned 7 p.m. is what WannaFest does.
Mhm.
So basically what we're going to do is we're going to, during the day will be an open campus from open until 7 p.m. And then at 7 p.m., if you can see on the map, we're going to we'll have a fence that's going to be up permanently. But after 7 p.m., the beer will be restricted to that area, and no one under the age of 21 will be allowed into that area. It'll only be a 4-foot fence, so families that don't want to be in the beer area can watch the bands
Okay.
over the fence. But it will still, it'll still allow for the family aspect of the festival. And then as far as, safety protocols or our safety plan, we will have professional security on site from 7 p.m. till closing. They will be in charge of monitoring people coming in and going out, actually IDing people and handing out wristbands from that 7 p.m. till closing time frame. Prior to that, when we're more in an open campus, the carding will be done by the group that owns the beer concession, which in this case, which I'm sure most of you have heard, VFW has decided to pull out of the festival.
Mhm.
So it sounds like hockey will be taking over both beer concessions. So, during the day, they will card the people as they had done in past years. They will wristband people that are of age and who can drink. And then during the day, when we are in that open campus, all the volunteers, trustees, member organization volunteers will be, keeping an eye out to see, if anybody who doesn't have a wristband has a beer.
Mhm.
And then we will have at the north gate and the south gate, we will have people stationed there permanently throughout the day. It won't be the same people, but they'll be at those open gates, one leading out onto Lee Street, the other one which will empty out into the craft fair, preventing people from leaving the ground or that fenced in area with alcoholic beverage.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I think that's the gist of it.
Will the hockey, since the hockey is going to be the only group that's going to be serving beer, will they have enough volunteers to do the checking and because it will be much busier?
Yeah, that's a very good question. And, this VFW pulling out just happened on Friday afternoon.
Mhm.
So we're still working through the kinks on that, or no, I wouldn't say kinks, but we're still working through that plan. Right. So, and if we have to, we'll figure it out. I
Okay,
guess.
but you'll make sure there's enough volunteers and
Yes.
they're not overwhelmed with the checking of the. The
Correct.
other question I have is you have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, amplified sound, 11 a.m. to 12 a.m. I went back and I checked because it seemed to me that there at one time was some concern about Sunday being night before work, or whatever, that it would, what their hours were. And in 2019, on Friday, it went from 5 p.m. to midnight, and then Saturday, 11 to midnight, and Sunday, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. for the amplified sound. Would that still work with?
Yeah, no, and that's correct. And to be honest, I think that was more of I put those hours in as more of a, because that's all I have room for in the application to put in.
Right, yeah, it was squeezed in before, but I think that, Fireman's Park in a residential area like that, I would feel much better if the amplified sound went to 6 p.m. on Sunday, and nothing starts before 5 p.m. on Friday anyway, I don't think.
That's the plan. So, I mean, Friday we start at 5, we close down at 12:30 or at 12 a.m. Saturday, because we have the race going on, there will be some stuff going on early. And then Sunday we'll finish at You know, the band usually stops 6:30, and then, you know,
Okay,
7 PM is cleanup. So, I mean, it'd
Okay.
be no later than 7 on Sunday.
the race, I tried to see where the race was going to run, but you have to, you have the amplified sound for 11, but you don't have a special amplified. Some of the races come and ask for a permit for amplified sound for announcements and music and stuff. Is that something you're going to need for the race?
I'm gonna say yes. I am only the grounds chair. I would have
Yeah.
to consult with the chair of the 5K.
Okay, where does that start from? Where would the announcements and music be? Are they at the festival grounds?
Yes, they'll be at the festival grounds.
And
The
what
start
time
and the
does-
finish are at the festival grounds, you know, and I think they'll be starting at 9 AM.
So and that's Saturday.
Yeah.
So we could move that to 9 AM to midnight on Saturday, and that would cover any announcements you needed to make for the race.
Correct.
You might have to go earlier on
Yeah.
that for announcing where to start and everything. Maybe 8,
I think that,
8:30?
Katie, I think the statutes don't allow amplified sound before 9 o'clock or on the ordinance.
They do, it just has to be approved by council if that's gonna happen.
Oh, okay. It doesn't
Okay.
say that on the application.
If you look at the really fine print.
You have to know the secret code.
Ah, I see.
It lists those are the hours allowed, but with council approval, you can go outside of those hours.
Okay, so do you need me to redo the permit?
No,
Amplified sound
No,
permit?
we
Okay.
would just, with our approval, we'd make it contingent on these times and, so do you think, so before 9 AM would require council approval?
Okay.
I have to look at, it's zoomed way out here. Just give me a second.
Jeremy's on this. He's-
On Friday through Saturday, it's 9 AM to 11 PM. So this actually,
It
Oh, no.
has to go anyway.
well, no, I apologize. So it would reduce, so Friday through Saturday is 9 AM to 10 PM. You can be at 65 decibels at the lot line. And then it's down to 60 decibels from 11 PM to midnight. So
So,
it is allowed till midnight. It's just a lower decibel reading from 11.
but
to
if we're talking in the morning on Saturday being 9 and the race starts at that time, am I right, Adam?
Yep.
Don't you want at least half an hour leeway to kind of get people
Yeah, I would
corralled to
think
the
so.
start
And
line?
we're not talking, you know, it's not going to be band loud. It's going to be somebody on a, you know, on a bullhorn or a, you know, on one of the portable speakers.
Well, then maybe, if it's a bullhorn, do they need to amend the sound application?
I guess I'd lean on Matt for that one, but I would assume that if you guys approve it for certain hours and it's outside of those, that would be fine. It would still just need the council approval.
Okay,
That has not changed from years
but
past.
it doesn't have to go to council because it's going to midnight. So the expectation is that the music is quieter from 10 to midnight. So
11 to midnight, actually, on
11
Saturday.
to midnight. Okay, okay.
And we actually, our last band is gonna be 11:30 on Saturday night. We don't
Okay.
have, our band finishes at 11 on Friday and 11:30 on Saturday night.
Hold on, I've got someone tripping in my ear.
Who was talking?
Friday
Yeah.
night, our band will finish at 11 and Saturday night, our band finishes at 11:30
Okay,
is what they're scheduled for. So I would like some leeway in case
Oh,
they
absolutely.
play longer, because we can't control what they do. But
Yeah.
that's where we're at with the
that's
schedule.
a good plan. Okay.
Back to Adam.
The only question then is if it's a bullhorn, is that amplified sound?
I would say yes. Matt,
It is amplified.
Matt, you're muted, but
Okay, so we just get council approval on the start time on Saturday. So is
Mark-
8:30 enough, or does it need to be earlier, do you think?
I think 8:30 is fine.
Okay.
We can make that work.
Mark Opitz has his hand up. Mark, did you want to add something to this?
I have a few things to add as this year's president. I have spoken with both of our representatives of the youth hockey, and separately. So they didn't even know that I spoke to each of them, and they both felt that they have the bandwidth to provide enough volunteers. So they're working on that. So that's the first comment. The second is, if you have the map up, I saw it up briefly. I don't think it's on the screen right
Was
now,
I sharing
but
the screen? I couldn't tell if you guys were seeing
you
it.
were at one
Yeah,
point.
you were
Hold
sharing.
on, I will share it again. It wasn't showing up on my screen, so I was a little bit worried. You see it
There you
there?
go.
Looks good.
So
Okay.
one thing that Adam has done is, you'll see the stage is now at the southwest corner, and so it's the music will go northeast away from the residences. In the past, the stages have often been more, going straight north. And this obviously is all still subject to some change. This is all concept, but it was the intent here was to show the restricted area after 7 p.m. So there might, we might have an opportunity now to have with the one stage, to have the sound not be as directed to residents. I wanted to emphasize that the wristband approach that we're using this year, I think will make it easier to track the people who we feel should not be drinking. If they don't have a wristband, they shouldn't have a beer in their hands. And then regarding I have a question about the perimeter fence itself. I talked with Jeremy about this today. Would the L&O committee be amenable to consider allowing a single 4-foot fence north of the restricted area? So the restricted area would be double fenced, like the VFW and hockey tents have been in the past. But during the daytime, I'm wondering whether there might be some willingness to consider having just a single fence that defines the area, recognizing we have volunteers that are going to, keep an eye on the festival during the day, and we always enjoy the support of the police department as well. But whether you'd be amenable to that, because if you look at how other community festivals run during the day, I'm thinking specifically Taste of Madison, they don't do double fences from what I've seen. And just because we are doing a lot more fence this year, it would be nice to, from a budget standpoint, to maybe if we could save on some of the double fence, that would be helpful. But if you're not receptive to that, obviously we'll proceed with double fence wherever you see the black lines. I just want to throw that out there as a question.
So
Well, my
Mark,
thoughts-
oh, sorry,
Go ahead.
Kathy, go ahead.
No, you go
please.
ahead, Katie. Go ahead.
I'm just wanting to clarify, Mark, double fence around the restricted area,
Right,
single fence around the family-friendly area.
right. To define the area so that, people can't leave with alcohol. We want to control where, when people leave, we don't want people to leave with the beer in their hand, obviously. And so they'd still have to go through the gate on the northern end or out the southern end, and we'll have volunteers there, of course. But I'm just wondering if that's something you might be willing to allow us to do this year, recognizing that other community festivals aren't doing double, or at least the ones I'm familiar with haven't done double fences. I think that what sets Good Neighbor Fest different, it makes us different, is that we do the nighttime bands, and then obviously there's much more crowding in the beer tents, and so I think the double fence is very appropriate, and I understand why that's the city's position. But if the area to the north, if that could be single fenced, if you'd be open or amenable to that, I think that's just a city rule. I don't think that's a state.
I would like to, to me, it seems like a logical thing. I would like the Chief Hallenbrand to answer that question. I think that if he's comfortable with it, would be important for me to know.
And Kathy, I did, after talking to Mark, I talked to the chief about it. He was fine with that. So I couldn't find anything statutorily or in our ordinance that requires it. It is part of our standard conditions for expanded premise or temporary license, which is on the temp B license application. That's where it talks about either 1 6-foot fence or 2 4-foot fences separated by at least 24 inches. It does go on, after I talked to Mark, I saw that was established by L&O 12-1 of 09, and it does say additional or enhanced conditions may be required contingent on size, nature, or so on. Similarly, alternative conditions or waiver of a specific condition may be accepted depending on the size, nature, and history of the event. We obviously don't know with this new design, but contingent upon the inadequate safety plan and addressing any potential issues with underage drinkers in that unrestricted area. And I talked to both Mark and Adam about this, it could be something as simple as, are you hiring security who is just going to kind of go through the crowd and identify any potential issues? Or are you gonna have GNF volunteers to do that and establishing a plan? Are they gonna address those issues themselves? Are they gonna come with us? So to answer your question, Kathy, the chief is fine with exploring that idea and approving it if you guys are good with it.
According to what you just said, though, the single fence would be 6 foot tall and the double fencing around the restricted area could be 2 4-foot fences.
Correct. So I think and Mark, correct me if I'm wrong, what he's saying is he wants to allow only 1 4-foot fence around the unrestricted area.
Correct. Apparently, Adam, I defer to Adam on this, but apparently 6-foot fence is hard to find.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. I talked with Federal Fence Rental, who has all the fencing around all the construction going on, and they just don't have it.
So when I've been to Taste of Madison, I've seen a fence with big gaps in between, at
Oh,
intersections.
yeah, that's not a fenced event at all.
Yeah, and then you think of concerts on the square, there's no fence at all. So
But I think this is more in line with like Wanafest or other neighborhood festivals. What happens around the square, it's, with all the streets and it's different, I think. I think this is more in line with the other festivals, so.
I think if they have enough volunteers kind of roaming the perimeter, I don't really have an issue with 1 4-foot fence around that area.
Okay,
I'm fine with that.
okay,
Me too.
okay. So,
And then I had one more thing on my list, and that is the parade is not listed. The ordinance, I'm sorry, the agenda tonight simply says Good Neighbor Festival it does say at Fireman's Park, I guess. But anyway, is the parade, is that something you can be supportive of as part of this as well, since it's all?
it was in the packet, wasn't it? Yeah, there's.
Well, the route was, yeah.
Right, yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, Laura was going to put it in there, but the agenda says at Fireman's Park. So I was just hoping that you could accept the parade as part of that. I didn't realize it was in your packet. I'm sorry.
The road is,
That way we don't have to come back again.
Matt, do you think
Well,
that's
it's-
allowable?
I mean, is it and what's noticed tonight is application for a special event permit. And so if the special event application included the parade, I think we're just fine.
Well, it just said at Fireman's Park. I'm glad to hear your.
Oh, yeah, no, well, right, I understand that, but yeah, no, I don't have a
Excellent.
problem with that.
Okay,
Cool.
so,
So do you need a motion with the amended times, Kathy?
right,
All right. I move that we approve the special event permit for the Good Neighbor Festival for August 27 through 29, 2021 at Fireman's Park. I also move that we approve the sound permit for Friday, the 27th of August, 2021, from 5 p to 12 midnight. From Saturday, 8:30 a.m. until 12 midnight. And Sunday, the 29th, from, what was it, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. That's enough?
that's what it had been in the past, yeah.
Yes.
And that
Okay,
will work, okay.
that is my motion.
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries for the special event permit and outdoor amplified sound.
Adam and I are very thankful.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I'm off to eat my
Thanks for all of your work.
Yes, thank you.
All right, bye.
Number 4, application for outdoor amplified sound permit by Don Cottingham for HANA for Miramount Behavioral Health Commercial Enterprise at 3169 Deming Way for sound system and announcements, 10 a.m. till noon on July 1st, 2021 for an open house.
And yeah, this isn't associated with a special event other than, not a special event permit, I should say, just their grand opening. So there's just going to be speeches in a sound system there. Don't anticipate any problems and no issues from the PD's perspective.
Excellent.
Move approval.
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Approve, approve.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Amplify the application for renewal of a Class B winery license for Fan Men Brand LLC doing business as Hidden Cave Cidery, 2500 Pleasant View Road, number 102, Walker Fanning, Madison, Wisconsin, agent.
Yep, and you probably recognize this one because you approved it a short
Yeah.
while ago, but now
Yeah.
it didn't make the renewals. So it's just
Oh,
Barry got to me after the fact. So this is just a standalone renewal. There's nothing changed here, no issues from PD.
very good.
I'll move approval.
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion opposed, motion carries. Number 6, application for an entertainment club license by Madison Capital Hockey Association, 2616 Pleasant View Road, Michael Klinkhammer, agent. And
You
this
may
was the
recall seeing-
incomplete one, yeah.
Yes, you may recall seeing this recently too. So this is just a completed version, no issues from PD here.
All right, I'll move approval.
Second.
Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Number 7, application for a combination Class B beer and a Class B liquor reserve license by Tasting Room of Monona Incorporated, doing business as Tasting Room Lounge, 1650 Deming Way, Suite 108, Jason Smith, Monona, Wisconsin, agent.
And it looks like Jason is here. I invited him. I appreciate you making it because I gave him very short notice. He can answer any questions I can answer for you guys as well, just real quick, as far as the background stuff, nothing, no issues that I have seen. So Jason, if you want to just kind of.
Sure. Yeah, I'm Jason Smith. Forgive me, I'm kind of new to this, so help me through the procedural part of it. But the gist of it is my wife and I have been longtime residents in the Monona area. We're small business owners. We opened up an upscale wine and cigar lounge, and we just recently were nominated. We had 4 nominations for Best of Madison for the Tasting Room Lounge in Monona. I don't know if any of you have had a chance to get out there at all, but it's a very popular location. We have, I guess we have several customers in the Middleton, Waunakee area, and they've asked us if we would ever be interested in having a second location. We met with the folks over at Greenway Station, Red Development. So it's a commercial area. So we were taking a look at basically replicating. If you haven't seen anything about our store, I'd advise you maybe just check out the website. But we are looking at basically doing another very similar style of upscale lounge. We're not open until bar close. On the weekdays, we stay open until about 10 or so. On the weekends, we close at about midnight. It's really, an area to bring people in, maybe to have meetings or to come in after work. We often bill ourselves as, an alternative to a bar, so that it's a place that people may go and hang out and interact rather than just being at a tavern.
Okay. And this, you have cigars there? Is that?
Yes, we do.
The smoking lounge, how does that work?
So yeah, I know people ask me that all the time. So there is a grandfathered license. There's 12 of them within the state where if and business that was in existence as of the time that the smoking ban was passed.
Yes.
If it's one of those 12 licenses, which this is, you're allowed to have premium cigars or pipe tobacco, but not cigarettes. In the way that we got some engineering involved so that we have about 2.5 times the OSHA regulation in terms of air circulation. So if people did smoke cigars, it exchanges the air 15 times an hour. We had actually had someone come in and measure it digitally. It turned out that the air quality for organic contaminants indoor was exactly the same as sitting outside on a chair for a 30-minute period. So, I mean, I guess that's where we're at. And like I said, we've had a lot of, 4 nominations with the Vesta Madison and a lot of people that enjoy being there. And I guess one of the things, as a part-time cigar smoker myself, I do enjoy the human interaction and the people aren't just staring at a TV screen or at their telephones. They actually sit down and spend some time engaging with other people and sharing.
Yeah. So if there's 15 of these grandfathered in license in the state, what's the tasting room in Monona? Have they been around that long?
Yeah.
Is that how it works? Really?
Yes. Yep.
Oh, did you buy the business from
I
somebody?
did. Yep.
Okay.
And there's a second license as well that I had purchased from a gentleman in Wisconsin Dells as well. But
And that's the
that-
license you want to bring over to Middleton, correct?
correct. Yep. Yeah, they're a statewide license. I spoke with excise tobacco at the state and the first time around, so that they're allowed to be anywhere in the state of Wisconsin.
So and I appreciate what you're talking about with the air purifiers or air exchangers. Is there some kind of regulatory, does the state have some kind of regulatory system for how that works? So that
There is not, but what we did was we actually went and looked at the European standard, and we went about 2.5 times greater air quality than what the basic, I guess the basic standard would be for that. And actually, one of the interesting things was that we were, partially able to, sell cigars for a good portion of, or be open for some period when we started the reopening process. And we never, we didn't have a single contact traced case of COVID, even as we started reopening. So, oh, I'm sorry. My wife reminded me it's actually 4 times the CDC standard for air quality in terms of, getting rid of contaminants, or also what they recommended for clean air with COVID.
now this building at 1650 Deming Way, you're in a suite. So I
Yes.
imagine you have shared walls with other tenants then?
Yes,
I assume that you're leasing.
with one other tenant, I believe.
And what is their business?
That is, what is the one on the end? I think it's a retail shop on the end.
And have you had conversations with them?
No, I haven't.
We
Oh.
currently,
Oh, my wife is here also, Jessica, sorry.
when, I'll hop on. When we currently built out our space that we have right now, we share that with a residential space and with an architectural firm. So what we did was several layers of soundproofing and insulation. So the fact that at this, where we are currently, we haven't had any issues whatsoever with the residential units above us or our neighbors next door. So we're pretty confident in in our builders, in the expertise of what we've done before.
Okay.
Are there any shared ducting systems?
No, absolutely not. The amount of airflow and the design that goes into this, it is a standalone system. It essentially is about the size of, about 1.5 pickup trucks is the actual mechanicals that go into making sure that it's always fresh air.
1650 Deming Way. What was the last vent?
Pendleton and Orvis, I think we're.
Orvis?
Yeah.
I'm not sure that it was Orvis, but I know that Pendleton.
Or Pendleton.
It is the space that's across from Bath and Body Works. So
Okay.
I'm not sure what that space was before. It looked like a retail space.
Okay. Just curious now, the cigar smoking, that's when you have your tasting room lounge, people smoke throughout. There's not like, this is where people can go and smoke. And if you don't care for the smoke, you can go over here. It's throughout the whole.
It's throughout. We don't serve food there. And it is 21 and older as well. Yeah. But what's interesting is that on the weekends in particular, we have close to, I'd say 50-50 people who would, do smoke cigars and people who don't. We've had everything from, retirement parties to birthday parties to a bachelorette party. I mean, there were interesting, a big mix of people that come in.
We also, at our current location, have a very nice big patio that really helps with anybody that really didn't want to be around. And we made a huge investment in that patio, the current patio, with heaters, fire tables, lots of things to keep it going throughout the winter. So our goal is also to do some very cool patio things as well. So
to make it a year-round, destination for grown-ups that, whether you enjoy a cigar or not.
Yeah.
So at the Middleton location, there is room for a patio there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's going to be, the plans that we're going through right now, there's actually 2 areas that would work for patios, kind of this indoor outdoor experience. So.
Okay.
I would think that you would have actually more problem because you have your air purification system inside, that you would have more issues outside in the patio especially in a situation like that where there's a bunch of businesses all around. I would think you would have more trouble outside.
More.
So because you're going to have right outside your patio, if you got a bunch of people out smoking cigars out on your patio, you don't have the air purification system there.
Oh, no, but I know that the group that we're working with, Supreme Structures, I don't know if you've dealt with them at all, as general contractor. They've done a number of different buildings around town. But one of the things that's interesting is having an open area. It's kind of an indoor outdoor space is the concept that they've designed, so that we would still have the ability to have, roofed above us, or, it could be ventilation intake above us. Even as you sit outside, we're still covered, but we're trying to create, sort of an indoor open feel, like an indoor outdoor feel.
Okay.
Yeah, not really like jutting out into the walkway or anything, but.
Okay.
Matt, do you have anything to add about the smoking part of this?
No, I mean, I think he's accurately represented, kind of what the state of the licensing and permitting is for that. I've been to their Monona place, and a few times I've been there, it hasn't been really packed, but I can attest it is pretty impressive how well the system works. It's it's a nice little quiet. It's definitely a lounge type of environment. So.
Well, I have nothing against a cigar and a bourbon once in a while.
Well, and for your reference, Kathy and Dan, I have a friend who is a chemistry professor at the university, and in their labs, their air circulation, the air exchange is 6 times per hour, and to have it be 15 times per, and that's in like a sterile lab. And so this is an impressive exchange rate at 15 times per hour.
Yeah, well, when I'll say when they first were installing the system and they didn't quite have it balanced correctly, you couldn't hardly open the doors before we.
There's so much fresh air.
Negative pressure.
But once they did figure it out, you're right. It is, and it's a significant expenditure, both from the installation as well as just the ongoing MG&E bills. But that being said, it's we feel comfortable with that, and it's the right thing to do.
Well, it sounds like a unique business, so I think that's cool.
I would move approval of their application.
I will second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Application's approved. Okay.
Good luck, guys.
Yep. Number 8. Review of an application to amend the agent.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I was muted, but I was just going to let them know that they could leave if they didn't want to stick around anymore. So, Jason and Jessica.
That's what I was going to ask you. I didn't know how it worked.
Yep. Sorry about that.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
Okay, number 8. Review of an application to amend the agent for the alcohol beverage license held by Quick Trip Incorporated, doing business as Quick Trip 962 6519 Century Avenue to appoint Jeremy Schmeck, Curtisac, Wisconsin as agent.
No significant issues. He does have a suspended driver's license. I'm not sure how he's getting there. He is eligible for reinstatement, but no other issues that are of relevance for his license.
Let's see. I'll move approval.
I'll second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Number 9, application for an entertainment club license by Capital Brewery Company Incorporated doing business as Capital Brewery, 7734 Terrace Avenue, Kevin Begstad, agent.
I have no issues with this. We haven't had any significant problems there in quite some time. Last year, notwithstanding, so no problems here from PD perspective.
Right, very good.
Okay, I will move approval.
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Okay, on to number 10, consideration of final permit conditions for fireworks at the 2021 Rock the Ramp event on July 23rd, 2021. Okay, is anyone here who wants to speak to this? Otherwise, I have some questions.
Yeah, well, I know, I believe Matt is on the line, Matt Hofeld, and but along with that, I know that the fireworks permit has been signed off on by Chief Harris, I believe.
Okay, I did see that. I don't see where this has been, it says the letter of authorization to display fireworks from the property owner. And I don't believe this is ever formally taken to either the airport commission. Is that true, Matt?
I'm here. So Matt Hofeld, he is on the call, by the way, but he's muted.
I'll ask him
He
to
can
unmute.
speak to this. Obviously, his questions about his application, but from an airport commission standpoint, he has briefed the airport commission regarding his event, and so they have knowledge of it. I don't recall if there was a specific motion. I don't think they made a motion to approve it. I don't think it's just been an update. And Matt is now unmuted, it looks like, so he can answer your questions.
I am, thanks.
Dan, Katie, do you have any questions?
I guess I didn't really get an answer to your question other than they've been updated, but they took no action on it. Was it an action item on their agenda or not?
No, from an airport commission standpoint, no, it was just Matt, whenever he does events, he briefs the airport commission when he does events. But he was, he's coming here with the special event permit through the L&O process, but it's not something that's ever been formally reviewed and approved by airport commission.
Did we defer this? I feel like we talked about this before.
We did. It was concept and it was contingent on a couple of things. One being the fire department, Chief Harris signing off on it.
Got it. Well, I'll move approval.
Can I just interject here real quick before?
Yes, please.
That goes? So just by ordinance, looking it up, it does require police department, police chief approval as well. I can tell you that he's fine with it. We would just ask, in past history, anytime we have fireworks anywhere throughout the city, our 911 center and Dane County's 911 center get inundated with phone calls about gunshots or fireworks or whatever it is, especially if it's not around the 4th of July. So we would just ask that the surrounding area and whatever that would be determined probably by you guys, just be notified that those fireworks would be coming, and we would do our job as far as staffing up our communication center and then also notifying the communication center.
I would also like to see this, formally go before the airport commission so that they can weigh in and have a final approval on it. I guess some of the things that, like when something happens in a park, the park department, they get to weigh in on this, and this isn't in a park, but I just feel like the airport commission should actually weigh in and give it the safety look over and make sure that they feel it's a good, safe event to have. I would like to have the airport commission give a final blessing on this. I think they're meeting July 1st. Is that right, Mark?
Yeah, July 1st. And I know the FAA has to review it as well. And I think Matt, what's the status of that?
So the FAA has essentially blessed the aerobatic performance component of the event. We got them the last small thing that they needed for that yesterday. And in essence, that should be the last thing that they need for that part.
But that's for the air show, not specifically the fireworks.
Right. This
Correct.
is only for This is only for fireworks, correct?
That what we have in front of us is just for fireworks.
Okay.
Does
Well,
the fireworks have to be approved by the FAA?
They do not.
But what will happen is that the airport manager will issue what's called a NOTAM, a notice to airmen, I think is what that stands for. And so whenever there's events at the airport, Rich Morey as airport manager will publicize, provide notice to all pilots.
Mhm.
So that's the sort of thing that, would be advertised to the pilot community. And I assume the city would want to do a notify me or something like that to let the public know that there'd be fireworks, give them a couple reminders that way so that people aren't all surprised.
Yeah,
I think
And Rich and I have worked very closely on all of the events that we're holding at the airport, and all the components and kind of facets of those. So he's aware of all of those and have been, really supportive and instrumental of all of those things thus far.
Yeah, I would feel more comfortable if this was approved by the airport commission as the fireworks display, just so it's on everybody's radar. It's been fully vetted by everybody who needs to know about it and well documented. So
I can I'd like to withdraw my motion and defer it until the airport commission approves it. And just a side note about notifying people. I think everybody who gets a fireworks permit should be on the hook for notifying people, given that there are veterans with PTSD and dogs that will run away. Just kind of a nice courtesy to have people be on the heads up.
yeah, the dog may go under the bed and you won't see it again.
No,
So
they take off to Milwaukee and you won't see it again.
So the airport meets July 1st and we meet again on July 13th. That should fit within the time frame you need, I would guess, correct?
Yeah, that'll give us, a couple weeks of buffer to do that.
Yeah.
Also, the temporary Class B from our charity Badger Honor flight, we've got that filled out and submitted. It was just too late for this particular meeting, but
So you'll be
be
at the next L&O meeting anyway, correct?
yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yep,
All
exactly.
right.
All right, let's bring it back to the next one then.
Okay,
Great.
Katie,
Great.
we're going to Katie made a motion to defer this and to refer it to airport commission. Dan, will you second that?
I will second that.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye.
Hi.
Opposed, motion carries. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Number 11, application for, this is just one, right? Gilda's Walk, no, there's two here. We'll take 11 and 12 together. Application for a special event permit by Gilda's Club Madison. Lania Stentz, contact person for the 2021 Gilda's Walk Run for October 17th, 2021 at Mead and Hunt. And 12 is an application for an outdoor amplified sound permit by Lania Stentz for Gilda's Club Madison, 7907 UW Health Court, Middleton, Wisconsin, for sound system announcements and DJ from 9 a.m. to 11:30 p.m. October 17, 2021 for the 2021 Gilda's Run Walk.
I think that's 1:30, just make sure.
1:30, yeah. I don't know what I said, but 1:30 is correct, yes.
I'll move approval.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Number 13, application for a special event permit by High Point Church. Aaron Hess, contact person for the 2021 All Church Picnic on July 16th, 2021 at Lakeview Park.
Yeah, this is one that came across to me, a first time event, but pretty straightforward. Just a church picnic at Lakeview Park where they want to have more than 200 people.
Okay. Sounds good.
Move approval.
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. We're on to ordinances. An ordinance to amend traffic control designations at various intersections from the Public Works Commission.
So this kind of came up from Sean Stowski, noticing we had some areas, some places where we had traffic control signals put in our ordinance as stop sign locations, and we didn't really have a separate traffic signal designation. So really that's all that's happening here. Well, also moving, I think section 1505 is yield location. So this would essentially put together all the intersection control devices in one spot and clarifies that, you know, where we have traffic signal locations, that those are where the traffic signals are versus stop signs.
So this is just ordinance cleanup.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, doesn't really change anything on the ground at all, no.
Okay.
Okay, I can move approval.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Number 2, an ordinance relating to appointment procedures and terms for city boards, committees, and commissions. And should I read all the committees and commissions this has been through? Okay. It has
So-
been to L&O how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4, and council
Oh.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, seems like more than that.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
Safe meeting, Sam.
what this
Oh.
does now is,
So this is the item that was sent to us from council?
right. And so, yeah, originally we had it so that if the mayor decided the mayor didn't want to serve, that the designee would actually be just an appointee like anything else for the council to approve. That turned out to not be exactly what was desired. So now on Pleasant View, the golf course committee, publics, and airport commission and public safety. Now the mayor is no longer has a seat. This would just transform that into another citizen seat.
Yeah.
And then, of course, here that we also take care of the removing the chief of police as a specific member. And so also the way I have this written, the chief no longer being an actual member of the committee would take effect right away.
Okay.
Because I assume we can pretty easily find another appointee to get on there. In terms of the mayor's position, because I think some of them may have already been designated by the mayor if he's not serving. So that is not going to take effect until the next appointment cycle.
Okay.
I would just like, as an interesting fact, we contacted Chief Kyle and Chief Folk last week, and neither of them knew they were voting members. So, back to
Okay.
the creation of the show. Nobody knew.
Now they
nothing
want to come
changes for
back
them.
just to vote.
Yeah. Chief Kyle didn't believe me, actually.
You know, I could have this come back again and with council, I could say, why do we have 2 council people on the airport commission? Why don't we have 1? We'll bring it back next time so we can keep talking about it.
Oh, I'm sure we could. Yeah, there's all kinds of things we can.
Actually, this sounds great. I think this is I think what they want, so I'm good with it.
We'll find out, won't we?
Let's try again.
Yeah. Okay,
Well,
Any
I'll move
motion?
approval this time.
I'll second.
any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Thanks, Matt, for doing this. I appreciate it. Okay, number 3 under ordinances. An ordinance relating to the membership of the EMS Commission and making non-substantive changes to its powers and objectives.
I see Steve's here, so he might want to give it, maybe tell us a bit more of the history, but apparently there was a change, at least what the EMS Commission thought happened, with removing the EMTs as a member several years ago, but that referral never made it to L&O or the council to actually change the
Oh.
ordinance.
Okay,
So that's more or less what this does. It removes that position. I've also changed the reference to Steve's position as to EMS chief rather than director. And then the other 2 changes basically flow from the removal of this position. And also just a slight tweaking of the language and the objectives and powers, but nothing really substantive. It just kind of reorganizes that. Because the other thing that I guess that happens here is because when we enacted our bigger board, and there was a subsection under objectives and powers that specifically designated the EMS director or chief as a non-voting, well, I can't remember if it said a member or non-voting member, but now that we have that provision in section 2035 that says, the city administrator is to appoint staff everywhere else, that reference really was no longer necessary. So that's also been removed.
okay, that confused me, Matt.
Oh, good.
Because on how constituted, letter B, the medical director of the emergency medical services, which would be Steve, correct?
No.
No.
No,
Oh, okay.
medical director is a different, that's somebody that's essentially otherwise outside the city. That's an MD that gives specific medical direction and
Oh,
advice
okay.
and so forth. So yeah, medical director is not the same thing as EMS director or chief.
Oh, okay.
The medical
Steve, who's
director
our
is
medical director?
Dr. Michael Lohmeyer.
Okay.
It's a position that's required under state law in order to be licensed as an ambulance service. So every service has to have one. We contract with University Hospital for the medical direction services. So that's the representative that would sit on there.
Got it.
Yeah, I think the other thing that was just, this obviously does a lot of housekeeping. And this really came to mind when the annual reappointments came out, and Lori Burns and I were having a discussion, and she was reading off, what she believed the membership was. And I said, that's not right. And I gave her the actual action taken by the EMS Commission. It says, no, this was rewritten. And she says, no, it's not. So, okay, we got to trace back the steps. So we're kind of catching up here, and we should all be on the same page now with a completely accurate ordinance, and it flows with everything else.
Excellent. So we have a citizen member from Middleton and the alderperson from Middleton on here.
Yeah, essentially you've got a representative from the 3 municipalities we serve. It's,
Yes.
It's a city committee. The township reps are there just to be able to weigh in. And then the citizen member is appointed by the mayor, and is a city resident. And then one of the staff paramedics serves on there, and then of course the medical director. So those 6 right there. And then even though no longer specifically stated, essentially I staff the body as long as the city administrator continues to appoint me. So
Okay, got it. So goodness. Okay, so this will clean this up. Okay.
Yeah, so the only other maybe a little oddity is now this does make it a 6-member body, but I don't expect this is a committee where you get a lot of, really tight votes. I don't necessarily see that being a problem. I guess
it actually should help because sometimes, you know, you need a definite 4 to, you know, conduct a meeting, you know, technically this way 3 would do it. So, you know, you can look at it either way, but.
Is 3 a quorum for a 6-member body?
Well, no, actually, yeah, you'd still need,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Still
you'd
need 4.
And more than 50%. Okay,
yeah.
got it. Well, then it doesn't really have any impact. So
It's going to make it harder.
yeah.
Yeah, you don't have
Okay, I
any
move approval.
I'll second.
further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion carried. Next up, adjournment. One thing that we don't have on this agenda that I think, do we have to talk about whether other committees are asking how they want to continue in person or not? Is that something we need on a future agenda?
Yeah, probably should talk about that, yeah.
Okay.
I can add that.
Okay, as we watch Jeremy write that down.
I got it.
Okay, motion to adjourn, anyone?
So
So
moved.
move.
Second.
Okay.
Put Katie in.
However you wanna
Meeting
write it.
adjourned. Thank
Doubled,
you, everybody.
quadrupled.
All right.
Thank you so
right.
much.
Bye,
Have a good night.